Hello, everybody. I am so thrilled to have one of my favorite guests of all time back on the show, Christa Meola, sweating her ass off in New York City.
I am.
She's turned off the air conditioner just so that we can hear her well. Thank you so much, Christa. It's great to see you again.
Thanks, Nate. I love chatting with you. I'm so happy to do this with you.
Awesome. So, thanks again for this awesome article we've got in PPA this month. I think it looks great. You're making waves in the boudoir space. So just let's take a second, introduce yourself to what you've been up to, how you've made such a name for yourself in boudoir, and if you can also fit in there, what's your opinion? What do you think about how quickly this industry is exploding?
The boudoir market.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so excited that it is so huge now. I think it's kind of silly to think of photography for women as trendy because since cavemen, when people were, writing on walls, we've always had depictions of women.
Yeah.
But I think there's a real emergence of the real woman as ideal and the imperfect girl next door, any age, any size, just embracing who she is and stepping in front of the camera. And I think that's awesome. So I started in 2009. A friend of a friend wanted sexy pictures for her husband to be, and she said, "I think you could do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I could do that." And it was just word of mouth. I was already established in family photography, so I had already had a clientele, and it was a very seamless transition.
Yep.
I still shot family, and I still actually do now. I photograph actually a lot of different things. My blog is focused on boudoir. It's where I specialize in teaching, but my business actually involves many other things as well.
I think I think that points out two cool concepts I talk about in marketing. Is one is the importance of focus, where if you're going to have multiple things you do, it's okay to have separate websites, because if somebody's coming to you for a specific type of photography, they're not going to want to see the others. And once any business is about establishing relationships. And once you've established a relationship with somebody, you can be their photographer in all areas of their life.
Absolutely. And this is oh man, we could talk for half an hour just on that topic alone. Because I believe in actually one site all under one roof, because when I was shooting family and then I started boudoir, it was my family clients who were hiring me for boudoir. And then, and then also when I was showing my fine artwork too, those same clients were hiring me to do an installation in their home. So once you have a client and you're building relationships, and I want to talk to you more about that too.
Yeah.
How to maintain and build a relationship. They trust you. You've done good work for them. They feel like you're their photographer.
Yes.
So then when the kids grow up and one's getting bar mitzvah, they're gonna call you. When the husband has a book jacket, he needs a photo, they're gonna call you. So I think it's super important to maintain relationships, whether you have separate websites or not. That's a personal choice based on a lot of different factors.
Right.
Who your ideal client is. If they have the same sensibility, then it makes sense to keep them together. But if you're in a conservative market, I can understand having them separate. So I think there's benefits and also disadvantages to both.
Yeah, and if they are separate, that you really do make sure you at least communicate that to your. What we were also talking before the call, the value of like nurturing your own existing clients that you've already had, and keeping in touch with them, telling them what you're up to, and so that they know you do more than just one thing, that you're not just a one-trick pony. And then they start thinking, oh wow, yeah, totally, I would so much rather hire the person I know, the person I've done business with and is knock my socks off, than trying to go find another and start the whole search process all over again.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's much less time intensive and less expensive. And it's so easy to just keep contact with your clients that you've already photographed, who know and love you. You did great work for, especially if you're just starting out. So if you're just adding boudoir to your business, It's so easy to look up those VIP clients, the ones that, really loved what you did for them, and, let them know now what you're doing.
Totally. So before we go too far, one of the cool things I want to make sure we fit in, guys, is Chris is going to talk to us quickly about the coolest ways she's using sticky albums. And because she does teach a lot of boudoir glamour photographers, she's going to share some of the coolest ways they are and how you would recommend somebody who's just getting started. So there's an approach and a strategy you can have as an established photographer, and then there's another way you can use them, and other creative ways you can if you're just starting out or just in the early phases of your business.
Right.
So let's start first about, I really like to focus on setting people's expectations that Sticky Albums is designed to be a marketing tool first. This is not a proofing solution. This is not a product. It can be a product, but it can be a product second. You start with a marketing tool first because people want stuff right now, short and sweet. So tell us how you started using Sticky Albums before I even met you.
Oh, okay. I used it as added value. It was just something cool that I knew my clients would love. And I always look for ways to surprise and delight them and do something that's totally unexpected and something that's really cool. And I hadn't seen out there. And it was really compelling because I could brand it. So I was excited about that. And so we used it as a gift, a total gift. We never mentioned it before. After they had their order, which they, would order an album and CD or whatever the order was, we'd surprise them with that.
And doesn't that work? I found that it works really well when in that gap where a lot of people freak out about like people stealing images and giving digital too soon. Just wait until you've gotten your money, right? And then where there's this, why this works so well with Boudoir is you get the last minute clients all the time. They're like coming in 2 weeks before Valentine's Day or an anniversary. And you're like, I can't get you a book by then, but.
Right. It's so perfect for that. And we used it when I first added it to the roster in that way too. We were able to accept those last minute clients now. So it's been really good to have. I mean, it adds to my business in so many ways. But if you want to continue with marketing, just to continue with that in Boudoir particularly, clients aren't necessarily going to share those images on Facebook. But it's so cool. For men love having them on their devices. And women want to share them with their girlfriends. So it's really useful. I love word of mouth. It's my favorite way to be marketed. And so it really makes that super easy. And like I said, it's branded. What I love about it is I'm often out and about. And, when you say you're a photographer and they say, what do you shoot? Weddings? And I'm able to, whoever's in front of me, because I do various different things, I can pull up a different album targeting that client. So, depending on the demographics, the gender, so I can really be targeted with what I show, what portfolio I show, and just my 20 best pictures targeted to that person. So I love that. And I can share it with her, and she can share it with whomever she likes, which has been awesome.
Yeah, that's something, I'm glad you bring that up. I skim over that benefit a lot because I'm all about, I jump right to like the big thing that scales is your clients. Word of mouth is obviously the best. But also there's a ton of apps out there that will let you make kick-ass portfolios on your own iPad, on your own phone, right? But the problem with those native apps is you can't share them. So after you have that awesome conversation with the specific one, you can text it to them. Here you go, boom, have this on your own phone. And then they get your portfolio and can look at it the same cool swiping experience. And then they've got your contact information right there too.
Right, exactly. Because I used to have like business cards, but who uses those? And you can put like one picture on it, or you have a really nice fold out, but like you have to get them printed. I never carried them with me. This is just so perfect, so perfect. I love it, and that's exactly the reason why. What else? I can go on and on. Tell me where you want to go
So
next.
let's go to the natural progression is, I tell people, is it can be a product. It can be used as an incentive, but it's usually best an incentive once people are asking for it. So as you're giving these away, word gets out. You get customers coming in saying, "Wow, how do I get my own app?" That's when it's a pull-through product. That's when it can help you increase sales. Is that right?
That's correct. You can use it as an incentive, or you can, put a price on it. What I think would be useful, and how, if I was starting out, how I would use it in the beginning, would be to raise my average sale. So, like once a year, I would calculate what my average sale was, and let's say it was 2,350, and I really wanted to get it to 25. So I would create a package at 2,500, and I'd make sure it was the medium package, so not the small or the big. It would be the medium, because that's where everyone wants to be.
Yeah.
And so I would make that package now 2,500, and I would include, if I had it at the time, a sticky album as the incentive.
Yes.
So I, think that having it as a bonus gift to entice people to that higher spend level.
Yes,
Would be
perfect.
awesome. And I used to, in the old days, have to pay for every time, a product. But I love that it's just once you pay the membership fee, there's like unlimited uses. And so beyond marketing and getting clients, which I love it most, increasing sales.
Right.
All
And I
the
think
other added value you can use. So those are great. But then there's all of these other ways, and there's so many creative ways that the photographers I teach are using it, and there's ways that we're going to start using it that I'm really excited about, because I love branding things. I just think it's super important. But I also love being able to steer the client experience. It's so important, especially in Boudoir, before the shoot, to really guide them into what to expect. And I want to let them know, I know you're feeling nervous right now, but that's a good thing. So I want to reinforce certain things. So if we send a sticky album, again, totally unexpected, with sexy inspiration geared towards her, you could do an inspiration board on Pinterest, or you could personalize one just to her and send her like a mood board as she's, shopping for outfits and stuff. She's got it on her mobile and is looking to something that you customized for her.
that's so cool. I
Yeah.
think there's so much to when it's all about creating that relationship that'll last a lifetime. A lot of that is setting the expectation before the shoot even happens. I continue to hear that from echoed throughout the industry.
It's so important. Your job on the shoot is going to be so much easier, because you already have a relationship. She already trusts you. Plus, you've given her all the do's and don'ts. And that's another album you can create for them, just the do's and don'ts, and like wardrobe recommendations and all that stuff. And a lot of my students do that. But, it really, really behooves you. You're going to give yourself such an advantage if you do all of this prep work beforehand. I really feel like most of the sale is in your prep before the shoot starts.
Yep. There's no surprises. There's no missed expectations, because everybody's going to come to the shoot with expectations. And if you weren't part of that expectation setting process, it's a crapshoot if you're going to be able to hit them or not, because you don't know where they're at, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's awesome. So, let's see. If you were, let's the last little tip. If you were just starting out in Boudoir, how would you recommend a photographer start using sticky albums?
If I was just starting out, it depends if you already had an established clientele or you're just starting from nowhere.
Yeah.
I would definitely create a portfolio,
Yeah.
even if 10 images.
Yeah.
And we don't, need to see, we just need to see a woman enjoying herself and having a good time. It can be just straight up portraiture, headshots. It could be modest. It doesn't need to be lingerie. You don't even need to call it boudoir. You don't need to call it glamour. It's photography, and it has a bit of sensuality to it. And it's just appreciating women. So I think if you're just starting out, it depends on your brand that you want to establish and your sensibility. But I would think being accessible, showing real women, showing your ideal clients. So you just don't want to show models. You might have to shoot models, but models can be any ethnicity, any age, any size. Go on Model Mayhem and you can find who you're looking for. So I would definitely start with having a portfolio that will book, and a portfolio that will book is showcasing your ideal client and who she is, and I think having it be accessible so it's not all nudes or unless that's what you want to photograph, and shows women enjoying themselves and having a good time. You want to look at someone's portfolio and go, that looks like a party's going on and I want to be a part of it.
Yes.
Not just these austere staring into the camera or, half naked. I don't know.
That's really good advice. Actually, I see that a lot.
Out especially.
Yeah, I see you want to make sure like you're putting your artistic best forward when the most successful photographers are the ones selling an experience. And that's what they may buy those other shots, right? But it's the shot they're going to buy may be different from the shot they need to see to hire you.
I hear you.
That's cool. That's a good takeaway. That's a really good lesson. I like that.
Just awesome. One,
So this was awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Christa.
You're welcome.
Everybody, please check out her blog. Her classes online and in person are not to miss. She's got all kinds of good nuggets like this just coming out of everything she does. So thank you again, Christa. You have a wonderful day. Go turn on that AC and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.